Imagine leading the marquee of every major theater in the country, only to have your name vanish from the national record a few decades later. Take late 19th century Mexico City. The country was in the middle of a massive push toward modernization, heavily investing in its architecture and arts to compete on the global stage. Long before the era of film or television, the journalists covering the theater beat curated the nation's culture. The theatrical press decided who mattered, effectively acting as the primary keepers of history. If you look through those precise archival reviews from the turn of the century, one name dominates the coverage. A man named Honorato Teissier was hailed as a leading star of the Mexican stage. Yet, if you look for Teissier in mainstream history books today, you will find almost nothing. His immense fame faded into silence. A performer with thousands of pages of documented success does not get lost by accident. To see where the record failed him, we have to find the exact moment the machine of fame stopped turning. Teissier's rise happened during the Porfirial, the era under President Porfirio Diaz. During this time, wealth concentrated at the top, and attending theater became the defining social currency of the capital. Teissier entered this high-stakes environment in 1899 and immediately proved his versatility. He worked simultaneously as an actor, a stage director, and a theatrical entrepreneur managing the business of the stage. He mounted over 40 distinct plays, taking his productions far beyond the capital. His tours hit the most prestigious venues across the Republic, from the Gran Teatro Nacional to stages in Guadalajara and Querétaro. He used that momentum to establish 2 theater companies, building a network across the country's entertainment hubs. He routinely shared the stage and collaborated with the most prominent figures of the era, including the celebrated actress Virginia Fabregas. By the close of the 1900s, Teissier had conquered the commercial theater circuit. As long as the capital's press corps kept writing about him, his legacy appeared guaranteed. Then came 1910. The Mexican Revolution fractured the country, abruptly halting the elite cultural life of the Porfiriato as the nation plunged into civil war. The streets of Mexico City became staging grounds for deadly conflict. The physical danger and economic instability made producing commercial theater impossible. Forced to leave the spotlight of the capital, Teissier relocated hundreds of miles north to the regional city of Saltillo, Coahuila. He began a distinct second act. Stepping away from commercial fame, he became a dedicated professor, founding experimental theater groups in the provinces. He integrated himself into higher education, serving as a teacher at institutions like the Ateneo Fuente and helping establish what is today the Universidad Autónoma Antonio Naro. In 1925, Teissier passed away at the age of 46. His death prompted an outpouring of local grief, with the major universities of Saltillo canceling all activities so students and faculty could mourn him. The revolution forced a shift in his life's work, from entertaining the wealthy to educating a new generation of artists. It was a noble path, but by removing him from the media apparatus, it left his story vulnerable to time. Because he moved away from the capital and died young, the theatrical press corps that built his initial fame simply stopped covering him. The engine of historical record-keeping at the time left him behind. Without those journalists to document his later life, his national prominence faded into a regional whisper, preserved only in the local memory of Saltillo, while the broader history books forgot him. That omission stood for a century, until the 2026 publication of Entreactos, a comprehensive new biography authored by Sandra Dalindo. This research finally steps into the role those early newspapers abandoned, gathering the scattered documents of Teissier's life to restore his story to the record. Unearthing figures like Honorato Teissier is a necessary act of cultural excavation. It corrects the blind spots of the early press, giving us an honest look at the artists who actually built a nation's theatrical heritage.